sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jar Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jar Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jar Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jar Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jar Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jar Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.
Africa is rising and business knows no borders. With Bloombank and PAPS, buying and selling across Africa is now effortless. Fast, secure, direct from your Bloombank account. One Africa, one connection, one heartbeat of opportunity, powered by Bloombank Africa. Bloombank Africa, in partnership with PAPS, connecting Africa, empowering you. Bloombank Africa, we make it happen.
My guest is a man whose role in Gambian politics is significant, though his voice is rarely heard in public. Mila Toure is the deputy leader of APP-Sobeya, the alliance led by vocal lawyer Esambai Fall. While Fall has been the face of the movement, Toure has quietly helped steer the coalition's formation and strategy, working from his base in the United States to harmonize diverse political currents into one force. This is his first appearance on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, and we are delighted to bring his perspective on the alliance, Gambian politics, and the state of affairs in the country. Mila, welcome to Coffee Time. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We spoke once.
We did.
But this was over a long distance.
It has been.
Who is Mila? Tell us who you are. You know yourself more than any bio I can read from.
Originally from Balangar. I'm a native of Balangar.
Why is that most tourists are from Balangar?
It just feels good to say it too, you know. It just feels good. And I bore my kids and my wife. Everything I say is about Balangar. It's like, Dad, would you please stop?
As if Balangar were a kingdom.
Yes, as if it were. Native of Balangar, and I went to school, my primary school then in Balangar. And then I moved into the Banjul area, where I went to Crab Island, of all places. I still
Crab Island used to be good. Very, very
awesome,
good. Yeah.
Awesome school. Yeah, under the stewardship of then our very honorable gentleman, Pa Alaji Kama Baji. Yes, I went there, and then from there I went to Gambia College. I was there for a year. And then transitioned to do other things in my life here in the Gambia. I co-founded the Youth Front Against Drugs and Alcohol here. I also co-established and was the first chairperson to the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations here in Gambia back in 2017. And a whole lot of things that I've done here internally. And then I went to the States in 86 to pursue my education because there wasn't much more for me here.
40 years ago.
There you go, 40 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, and I when I went over there, it was quite exciting. Out of Banjul to JFK, New York, it's just quite something to experience. My intentions were to go to school 4 years, come back, and my mom still, I hope she forgives me, held me to it. you said you were going to go for 4 years and come back. I said, Mom, things are different here, okay? It's not what I thought it would be. But yeah, I went in for school, for education. First, I did a 2-year degree in computer science. And then I have another 2-year degree in law enforcement. I wanted to do law. I just could not see myself sitting there defending criminals and or doing other things. But that's not the only discipline for law. But I could have done other things with law. So I decided to end it at law enforcement, a 2-year degree. And then I pursued management, hold a master's degree in business administration.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been in Rhode Island for most of my life. Started in New York, moved to Rhode Island for education, and from Rhode Island, work-related, I moved to Boston, which is where I call my second home. My house is in Rhode Island. I live in Boston now.
So as I said in my intro, very quiet, but a central figure in APP-Sobeya. So how did you come into this role?
Being a co-founder of APP-Sobeya as well, I've been very active in politics, and this dates back to my high school days. Back then, when Moja was active,
Movement for Justice in Africa.
Exactly, we were the kids
these kids wouldn't know.
they wouldn't know that. It's like I was going out looking for. I had a request. This is a very unique request. Somebody requested for me to fax them something, and I was going around asking.
They've never heard
they're like,
fax.
"What is a fax?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I was one of those that would be doing the distribution. In the middle of the night, going and dropping papers. So I was involved in politics back then. Fast forward to Gambia College, we were really advocating for better education in Gambia, not limit education to Gambia College alone, which had at that time only 4 disciplines. Education, agriculture, public health, and nursing. Those were the only disciplines. And it was very competitive. You can imagine, having to fill 22 positions out of the entire population of Gambia, those that are involved in the field or those that wanted to go to school. So that's, led me into activism. And I transitioned that into politics and co-founded APP, the party itself, and built a relationship with SFL. And the rest is history, as they say.
So what, made you commit yourself into building this alliance, APP-Sobeya?
Love for country. Love for country. Nothing I have done in my life could be more significant than to see Gambia progress to where I believe our potential is. We're yet to meet our peak. I don't think we have. If we just scale it from 1 to 10, I don't think we are at 5 yet. And the potential is there to do that. And I think there are a whole lot of things that could be contributing factors to that. I.e., lack of a grandiose vision for Gambia, and the belief that we could do it. Why I'm driven? This is something that I've committed myself to my entire life. That what took me out of Gambia to the United States could have held me in Gambia, and others who are also venturing to go out and looking for greener pastures. It can happen here. We can be born and raised in Gambia and be successful in Gambia, be it academically or otherwise, whatever your choosing is. When I went to the States and served on a Providence School Board of Education for 9 years, and at one point in time, be the board vice chairperson, ran the board for a year as an acting chairperson, and eventually retired from it myself because time didn't allow me full-time work and stuff. I said to myself, if I can sit here and do this for a state in America, I don't see why we couldn't do it in Gambia.
For your country.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were involved with APP.
Yes.
Baifal was with Sobeya.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
How did the two come together? Why did you decide to, go into an alliance with Sobeya and be number 2 now rather than be your number 1 in your APP?
Again, love for country. Love for country. When you find what you're looking for in other people, there is nothing, in my view, more fulfilling than saying, take the ramp. It's okay to do that. It's okay to take the back seat. We don't have to be in the limelight all the time. And I am the one that believes that when we know better, when we can do better, we must do better. When we know better and can do better, We must do better. And that has to be what motivates us as Gambians to want to do the things that we do, especially when you enter politics. When I know that we have a competent individual who can help us. We had a vacuum gap in our leadership at that time. If you remember, in the early days of APP, my brother, same mom and dad, Gumbo, was the party leader. Yes. After so many things going on in his life, time didn't allow him to be involved and engage 100% as is required by the position. So he decided to step down, and that created a vacuum in the leadership. We had people who stepped in to help run until we could figure ourselves out. I was tapped, but again, I think the interest of the country and the interest of the party is greater than my interest. Being in the United States, it will be too far of a challenge for me to run a political party being in the U.S. I'm coming back down now because I'm ready.
All morning you've been talking about love for country.
Yes.
Why don't you
patriotism.
Forget about the U.S. and come back here and, get down into the trenches and help save this country, as you say?
4 months now, 4 months later, I'm here.
Yeah?
Yes, and
So
it is time to come back.
Okay. So it was that easy to go into an alliance with Esam by far?
It was that easy.
Okay.
Yes. It took a lot of negotiations. We had to align our objectives and our manifestos, the integration and the technical aspect of it. But as far as
where was
trust,
disharmony, if there was? Where was variance?
I do not think there were any, to be quite honest with you, because we had similar visions. The only thing that we had to iron out was, how are we going to structure the executive of the alliance?
Okay.
But other than that, there wasn't any, because we have a similar vision.
Okay.
The guy, like him or not, he loves his country, serves well, is capable, competent, and willing. And I couldn't find a better person to do that. Mm-hmm. So, when we had a conversation with him, first initial talks, it just caught me that, I would put down all my aspirations, I put it aside and support this gentleman because I know he can do it.
And is your slogan turn around?
United for a better Gambia. Because we came together. So we have now adopted United for a better Gambia.
United for a better Gambia.
Yes. And we opened it up to be more inclusive. So any other alliance that we might get into, I think that slogan would fit very well.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And of course, all sorts of alliances are now being forged.
Talked yes.
In the run-up to December 2026. And
yes.
I see that APP-Sobeya is keen on alliances.
We are.
Practically everywhere there's talk of the opposition going into coalition, APP-Sobeya support the move. Ultimately with a view to achieving what? Leading these alliances or what?
Where the calling says yes, we would love to do that. But then again, you don't go into negotiation with preconditions. We go in with an open mind. We're willing to negotiate wherever that negotiation leads us to. So we are going to help develop the criteria for selection. And we hope that when we select this time and when we establish the criteria and select, that we will select the right one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say you don't go into a negotiation, maybe thinking that, but at least you go there with one thing in mind.
Yes.
And we know, for instance, that the UDP says no matter what kind of alliance, the opposition comes up with, for the UDP to be part of it, it has to lead because, hands down, it is the single largest opposition party across the country.
And I respect that opinion, although I disagree with it. I'm going to give you an analogy. I'm going to say it in Wolof. And this, I've been attached to politicians all my life. My dad was chief for 21 years in Lower Salem. And I also attached myself with an icon in politics in Gambia, O.J. Jallow. When we were doing NAD, for which I was by that time the public relations officer for NAD, he told me, Munama Smaraka, let me tell you something. So let me see TNB. Nga ame boom bigena guda wante jotu ndohbi. Man ma ame boom bugata. No matter how you slice it, don't am dohde suñ takalante wut suñ boom yi. And he is absolutely right. So again, having the longer rope doesn't provide you with water. You have to be smart. You have to be tactical. You have to give and take. And that's what negotiations are. You just don't go and precondition people to say, I'm going to. No, I mean, this is my view. Strictly my view.
Okay. So behind the scenes, when these negotiations are going on, what's the spirit like? What's the mood like in the hall? So Esan Baifal walks in with Mila Toure, and then, encounters maybe Lamin Mane and Larry Cisse from UDP and Talib and possibly Tombong from Unite Movement. And you all want one thing. To lead this country.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the relationship is cordial when we meet.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. It's cordial and it is respectful.
The competitive, angles of, the different parties does not shine through, does it?
Occasionally it does flare up. But again, anybody who is going out there to register a political party, you have one aspiration. You want to lead. And that is understandable.
Absolutely.
But like we did at APP with SR, for that matter, if you have that patriotism, your love for country, then know that Gambia is bigger than you as a person and you as a political party, you should be willing to let go of some of these things that you drive for. Believe it or not, if Gambia was where I wanted it to be, or where I want my children and grandchildren to be, as far as positioning Gambia on the globe, I wouldn't encourage setting up a political party. Why would I?
Okay. Where should Gambia have been today?
In my view,
yes,
41 years ahead of where we are right now. In terms of development,
yes,
we have a lot of opportunity. There are a whole lot of things that we could be doing to get to the next level.
Like roads, which we are doing.
Roads are not the only things. That's part of the infrastructure. Roads are not the only infrastructure piece that we need to be focusing our energy on. But for us, and for what I believe Gambia should be and focus our attention is be able to feed our people. Self-sustaining when it comes to food.
Oh, government claims they're pouring millions, not dollars into agriculture.
In the wrong place. So see, if I were to staff an organization,
yes,
I don't want to fill every position just because I have, there are vacancies. And I'm going to take John, Mary, John, Mila, throw them in there. No, I want to have the right people in the right seats. I want a pilot. I want a captain. I want a co-captain that are competent.
Are you suggesting that in agriculture, for instance, you don't bring a qualified nurse to make them the minister?
You do not. And let me ask you this question. Of all of the things...
Which is the case with Demba Sabali?
I'm not saying it because I do not going to call names and call out people. But let me say something to you. Not afraid. But it is not in my character to be doing that. Journalists can do that. Not I. So let me just ask you one simple question. Of all of the things you've ever heard of in this country, have you ever heard of people are going for internship at the farm? Have you ever heard of it? And yet we want to be self-sustaining in food production? Let's be realistic.
Is that what should happen? People should go for
in my view, if you're committed to it, yes. Some of the things that I have highlighted are some of the structural changes that we need to have in this country, including education, is to revise our curriculum to reflect what our priorities are. We're not teaching. I mean, this is somebody I was a teacher before I left this country. I taught for 3 years, went to Gambia College, and I went back there, and I was in the education system. What we are teaching today is obsolete by the time that kid is graduating from high school or college. Forget about it. Who would have thought about AI at this time? Not I have a computer science degree, but still I'm saying let's put our priorities, and I'm very serious about it. Farming and agriculture doesn't start when you plant the seed. I'm a farmer. My dad, we had farms.
When does it start?
It starts when you reserve what you're going to sow for next year. Sajiwobi, Bingaji, that's where it starts.
But they always have that.
No.
They're always supplying seeds to farmers. So it means
what kind of seeds?
They cater to that adequately every year.
Yeah, one of the benefits of exposure to what is happening outside of the world is that you can take that experience and transplant it into Gambia without having to reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. our agriculture system. We should be looking at the yield. I have some things here that we need to start mechanizing our agriculture program. We need to start diversifying our agriculture program. When by diversification, I'm talking about product. What are we growing? Peanuts? Man, I've been to Georgia. Georgia alone can produce more peanuts than entire Gambia can produce. So why are we there? Why are we not looking at other types of production? I don't care if it is coffee. A pound of coffee would cost you how much? A lot of money.
I wouldn't mind either.
Exactly. And you can do other things. Pear, they call it pear here, or avocado.
Avocado, yeah.
One avocado is about $2.50 in the U.S. $2.50 is $2.50. That's a lot of money here.
Yeah.
What's that? At least $300 is. We're talking about industrialization. So agriculture is just not going in and giving out money, but you give it out in the right place, giving out seeds. It's more than that. And I can speak for hours on end on just that program itself because I lived it.
When you talk about mechanizing agriculture, here, the one thing that immediately comes to mind is tractors. And government say, we've acquired tractors. Is that mechanizing farming?
No, it's not enough. It's a start, it's not enough. And let's be honest, how many people do you see driving a tractor in their field? I have driven from Chicago to Wisconsin, and I drove on a field, for a cornfield, and this is not an exaggeration. I drove for at least 4 minutes, doing at least 60 miles an hour, and I saw a cornfield, and I was driving on the cornfield, alongside of the cornfield. I saw only 2 vehicles, 2 tractors and a dog. So there's one person here and the other one was about 2 miles away on one cornfield. And they're producing enough it's unbelievable what they can do. But no, it's just not that. But what about when we mechanize, when we do this, it's just not the farming, it's not, a baby wreck. It's what about post-bay? How many people struggle with selling their crop, at the end of the year after they produce, after they harvest? Harvesting is another element of it. We don't have a mechanization for harvesting. We do not have mechanization for batching.
So APP-Sobeya has plans for...
We do have plans. I have the manifesto. We have plans for all of these things that I'm talking about.
Apart from agriculture, what other sector, needs urgent attention?
Education and health.
We're doing very well, especially in higher education.
And health. I like data. I honestly like data, and I believe in it.
Well, the higher education ministry will provide data if you ask for it.
What about secondary, primary and secondary?
That's now basic and secondary education.
Basic and secondary education.
What's the problem there as far as you're concerned?
You can't have, if you don't have a good foundation.
People our generation used to boast that, our education was so good, some of us did not need to go to university.
Absolutely. And
so what's the problem today?
Specifically for Gambia, I would like to see the data to be able to speak adequately about it. Here's what I'm saying. I want to know how many people are actually passing. We have to start teaching for comprehension and start teaching for memorization and for the test, for the exam. It's a big difference. When I see kids they're trying to memorize. Who in God's name now cares about the multiplication table? You have calculators, you have all these mechanisms to do that. And it comes to what I was talking about.
Are they allowed in an examination hall?
So that's where the change should come from. If you change the curriculum, instead of you teaching to science and research.
We were not allowed to use calculators.
Well, we were not. Yeah. And I don't think it is still allowed. But still, what I'm saying is if you teach the child comprehension skills, to be able to understand the mechanics behind what you're teaching them, rather than for them to memorize for the exam that is coming. All right, I want to know whether, water is soluble or whatever have you. I want to understand the why. I want to understand when I hit that key, that behind the scenes of that computer keyboard, there are O's and ones that are talking and forming a statement. That's what I'm talking about. And we got to build the foundation at a very early age. We have to start challenging our kids. And I'm talking about here making our education research and science-based, not just go in there and memorize something for the test. And whereas we are, and I'm not saying there is, whereas we are doing social promotions, primary 1, primary 2 next year, primary 3, we have to have a competency base way of assessing competency so that you will be promoted to the next class. Not because you served the 1 year in primary 1, so you're going to go to primary 2. And we got to have the resources to help the teachers be able to attain those goals. So we have a whole list of things. And by the way, don't wait until after high school you start building a curriculum on vocational activities. No. Integrate it into the curriculum much sooner so that children can learn. I'm telling you about electricians, technicians. Look at all this gadgetry that you have here. Who's going to maintain them? I want Gambia, or we want Gambia, to be known for something. Our employment base is dismal. We shouldn't be sending young Gambians to Spain to pick apples. Let's invest here.
Apples or oranges?
Whatever they're picking something. Let's invest in them here so that they don't go. Let's let Gambia be known for something. You talk to India, they're involved in research, they're in the sciences, they're in medicine, they're in technology. Yeah. There is nothing more fulfilling for me than for Gambians to be exported to be technology experts. Not just entitled, but be able and competent to do whatever is challenged of you to do out there in the field. The health sector as well.
So we've done agriculture, we've done education. What other sector?
Healthcare.
I was just talking to a surgeon this morning.
How many of them do you say were here? One of his. What's he do?
One consultant urologist.
For 3 million people? And you think that's adequate? And that's why I'm talking about our priorities. We have to invest in our people. And we have to...
But government has started. That's why we now have 3.
40 how many years ago?
Yeah.
And with this administration 10 years into it, you still haven't figured it out? You're just starting now? Yes, it's good to start, but I'm saying that we should be more aggressive. We have to think big. Again, keep this in mind. If you change nothing, nothing will change.
True.
If you change nothing in this setup, or whatever policy you have, if your basic view of this world or your responsibility is to get up in the morning and go to your office, and whatever paper is given you, you sign and approve, and it goes on, that's not development.
All right.
We have to start thinking differently. What a model that fits America may not fit Gambia, but
True.
I guarantee you there are better things to do than be exporting patients out of Gambia to Dakar and importing dead bodies. Let's invest in our healthcare system. Let's be serious about it. Let's stop having 2 people in one hospital bed. Let's start having good medicines in Gambia.
They deny that those things are happening.
The evidence is there.
They're saying that, we're still holding on to the past. You go to the EFSTH today and you'll think you are in a hotel.
Really? Believe me, I've been to hotels. And those are hotels.
Have you been to the EFSTH recently?
I have been. And yeah, emotional when I go there.
Emotional?
Yes. It's sad.
Yeah?
It's sad. Think about this. And I'm going to give you an example. A patient that is referred from Bansang to Banjul is accompanied by, let's say, the husband, the wife, or the son, the daughter, or whoever it is. Have you been to the hospital in the evening and see people sleeping under those...
No, I've not been there in the evening. I've been there during the day, though.
And you see that? Whatever happened to having...
In terms of structure, I mean, it's a massive improvement on what used to be there,
We still think that lining up 15, 25 beds in one hall is a way of administering good health care?
Isn't it?
What about... No, it certainly is not. What about having a room, a privacy for those patients? For crying out loud, there are some things that are too graphic to discuss here, and the medical doctors and medical personnel would know this. We have to invest in our healthcare system, make it better. Listen, we must not let excellence be the enemy of good. I'm not saying that. We must allow and strive for excellence, however. Yeah, let's make it better. So yes, we don't have, and I don't believe that's the case, that we don't have 2 people in a bed or 2 children in one bed at the hospital or so. What about do better than that? What about having a room where you have only 2 patients, room this size? Give them their privacy. Give them the respect and the dignity that they deserve as human beings. That's why they're there. Right? They need treatment. Far too often you see somebody who goes to the hospital and lives with another disease than they took there.
I hear people say that.
All right.
Let's
So
talk about the economy.
the economy, yes.
One of the fastest growing economies, we are told, in the sub-region.
And you believe it? And you
Luckily,
believe-
I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question. Yeah.
Yes, I heard that as well. I try to get myself up to speed on all these things, but
We have the most resilient currency in the sub-region. The dollar is not depreciating as fast as the naira is against the dollar, for instance.
let's challenge the dollar against the Senegalese franc. What do you think? The truth is that
That's pegged against the euro. We are pegged against nothing.
why are we not pegged against anything? Why? Again, it comes to the vision. We have to be visionary. We have to think that, hey, listen, what do we do to get there? Why can't we peg by the pound or the dollar? Once upon a time, the pound was a dollar.
Yeah.
Or the dollar was a pound, rather, I should say.
Yeah.
It used to be.
We used to have the Gambian pound, remember?
Exactly. And why don't we strive to get back to where, again, to my point, where we are known for something? All right. What is causing the dollar to depreciate? You have to challenge yourself
Lack
with
of
that.
industrialization.
And why is that? Why do we lack industrialization? Comes back to my point. When you do root cause analysis,
Where do we start?
when you exactly when you do root cause analysis, that's how you break it down. Yeah. So we have a dollar that is depreciating. Why? We're not industrialized. We don't have
Because
any
we're
foreign.
importing far
Exactly.
too much.
You're right. So why are we importing far too much? Well,
Because we're not producing.
Exactly. So why are we not producing enough? So you peel the onion until you get to the core, and that's what I'm talking about. We need to start thinking differently. Let's get to the root of the problem and fix it. If we're able to feed ourselves, if we're able to export avocado and coffee, we'll get foreign currency.
Sure.
Foreign exchange will be there. We can peg, we can control, and we will have the best economy. Employment is important. It is paramount for us to prioritize employment, especially for our youth and women. They are disenfranchised, and they don't deserve it.
You talk about youth and women.
They are
Migration
disenfranchised.
is a big problem.
It is a big problem. Why? Because there are no opportunities here for them, and it is sad. I talk about this, that we're exporting our young folk to Spain and other places, or to Saudi Arabia or Dubai, to do work that they wouldn't do here at home. Why? Why can't we invest in them here? For crying out loud, one of the biggest...
Aren't we investing in them? We're building Tibet centers all over the place. That is investing in the...
All right, all over the place. And let's qualify that. Have you seen one in Balangar? Have you seen one in Bansa? It doesn't have to, but I'm telling you. So if those are some of the key things that are affecting a lot of the things that we're facing right now. Had you built those in the places where they are needed, that will curb rural-urban migration. And if you provide jobs for them in those areas, they wouldn't be coming to Banjul. Never mind thinking about going to Europe. So we have to think broadly and act broadly. Yeah, not just, again, to my point, when we know better, can do better, we must do better. And that's where we are right now as a country. And I believe that we should start moving in that right direction. And that employment is key, but we have to do the right things to create jobs for our young people and women.
I'll ask about your strategy on employment later on, but let's keep looking at, the issues that are coming up since this is an election year, in some of the, discussions around our politics. A lot of people feel that crime is a major issue here. Is that how you feel? And what makes you feel so, if that's how you feel?
It's a concern. It has been tamed a little bit. I gotta give credit, but security is also. You cannot. I don't feel comfortable going to bed at night worrying about who's going to break into my house. I don't feel good about having my.
It's happening in the U.S.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
Oh, yes.
It's everywhere.
So,
but to what scale? To what degree? To what magnitude? And that's what we're talking about. It's just like corruption. When we say corruption, you can't. There's no country in the world that has got zero corruption.
Yeah, true.
But it has to be manageable. Crime is the same thing. It's the same thing.
You don't think the crime rate in this country is manageable? I mean, do you?
I think we can do better.
Do you wake up worrying about stepping out of the house? I don't think
No.
that's
But I go to bed worrying that somebody's going to break into my house in the evening,
if Peter Gomez is a neighbor and he sees Mila, living lavishly, and I'm struggling, to even have one meal a day, I might think, hey, listen,
Love thy neighbor. I do not want to be in a position where I cannot share what I have with my neighbors or the people that I love.
Let's just assume that you're not sharing. I see you having literally everything.
That doesn't give you the right to come into my house.
That is correct. But then, I mean, are people not driven by desperation to do things that they probably...
And let's peel that up. Why are they driven by desperation? No jobs. Why are there no jobs? It's not a priority for government. Why is it not a priority for government? The right people are not sitting at the table making those decisions, thinking broadly, thinking differently, thinking creatively. And the more you peel that, the more you would appreciate what I'm talking about here. Hey, listen, let's talk about security. A lot of the time, I have a lot of respect for the police officers, male or female. People are saying they are corrupt, they're this, they're that. But why? Are they given adequate resources? We're talking about crime and statistics here. Are they given enough resources to help support their fight against crime? Are they being paid adequately to avoid corruption, to avoid them receiving $50 from a truck driver who's going by them willingly? I mean, those are the kind of things that we need to address at the core, in my view. All right. We have to take a look at our salary structures across the country. Let's pay people living wages, something that they can live on and not drive them to be involved in corrupt practices. Let's give them the tools that they need to fight crime. Right now, if I had a problem at my house, I don't know who to call, quite honestly. I'm being very honest about that statement.
You don't trust the police to call
I don't know. I don't even know the number. What is the number to call for police?
Oh.
In Kutu, in Farata, in Faraba, in Balangar, in Bansang. Who am I going to call?
They have their numbers.
What is it? What is it for here? And so that is, again, exactly, I got it. And so that's my point. So those are the things those are just low-hanging fruits. For crying out loud, if you have a vehicle, a police car, write the telephone number for which they can be accessed. Right on the car. They're running around all over the place. But you can't have one vehicle to serve the entire Kotu area or the entire Serekunda area. It's not practical. Again, put the resources where they are needed, provide the resources, do the training. Same thing with the doctors and medical personnel. Give them the resources. Allow for them to succeed at what they... We have brilliant people here, I believe in Gambia. I believe in Gambians, especially Gambian youth and Gambian women. I believe that when given the opportunity, they will thrive. And they will take us to other places. That's why I was saying that our education system has to be reformed, make it a science-based and research-based kind of teaching and learning environment. We could be inventing medicines. My goodness, how many people have we lost on malaria? And yet we don't have any high schools with laboratories that are going to do research on the biology and whatever medicine. What could be a cure for malaria and other diseases? We're living it. How many high schools do have a functioning laboratory?
I'm sure. I know St. Augustine's has.
And many others. Are there any others?
Yes.
It's a sad day when we have to count. It should be everywhere.
9:46. Meaning we have about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about 2026.
Let's do.
What strategies is APP-Sobeya adopting to counter the power of incumbency in 2026?
Well, we know what worked. Like I said, I believe in data. There's one thing that I know that has worked 100% in removing the incumbent. What is it? Coalition, right? Anything else has failed. And I don't care who has the longest rope, to my metaphor.
Okay.
All right? There is not a single political party in this country that has ever removed a sitting president. When we did a coalition, it happened. Mm-hmm. So I believe in the data. Hence, that's the reason why APP and Sobeya came together. And I'm hoping that we can all come together to work toward that. So again, the data doesn't lie. We did it once, it was successful. 100% is right there. We have tried other mechanisms 1,010 times. Not one political party, many other political parties have run for office and failed. They couldn't do it. So I believe in it. I'm still hopeful, though. I'm still hopeful that we can forge a coalition that will bring us what we want. Again, hey, listen.
The ruling coalition doesn't think that is possible at all.
Is it a ruling coalition now?
Isn't it? It is. I mean, you have the NPP, you have NRP in there, you have even a faction of APRC in there. You have, is it GPDP? What's Henry's party called?
I have no idea. I just know the Mbakali Puch fashion stuff. That's the one thing I remember.
That's not the name of the party.
I know. That's the one thing I remember. But again,
so it's a ruling coalition.
It's in name or in theory it is. What we are envisioning, and when SR and his executive have a meeting, what we dream about Gambia is, honestly, to my point earlier, we want to have the right people to sit in the right seats. That's what we want.
That's not what Gambia has currently?
No. If they had it, we wouldn't be forming a political party or to going to contest this guy. What we want is to have the right people sit in the right seats. When we have a coalition, and I believe we will, I strongly do, because talks are going on. By coincidence, I also belong to CSC, Coalition for System Change, based out of the U.S., and it tells you my commitment and our commitment to country, that the country is bigger than us, so we can forget about our political aspirations and put country first. Hence, we started working together and forming a coalition. With this coalition led by ADD, we're talking.
Not coalition led by ADD, coalition talks.
Coalition talks. I stand corrected. Yes, coalition talks. Okay. Same as what is led by.
Why is everybody so optimistic? Huh?
Again, I think like I said, people are waking up.
Okay.
And we travel, Ezra and myself, we travel across the country. We do that. We just came from Fonio on Saturday. And what people are asking us to do is unity. Come together, guys. Come together.
That's what people are asking.
That's what people are asking.
But what was also going around that you tried to, meet people in a certain village and you were told, no, this is a no-go area for any party other than NPP. Was that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
It was one heckler, I would call him, and who wanted to get fame and stuff. And there are other videos out there. People after that event, people who came in and made a recording and shared it on the internet, apologizing for the incident and correcting I would have to share that with you. But no, it was one person who was trying to get attention. We don't pay attention to those.
The IEC has flagged double registration in the ongoing voter registration exercise. Are you worried about electoral integrity?
Yes, very. Yeah, very. I have photographs and videos of our monitors that our monitors are sharing with us on a reporting basis. Where you
and what's the suggestion from these photographs and
you have kids 16 years and under who are taken to register to vote. Hey, listen, there's a reason why this country has established.
But whose fault is that? It's not the ruling party, is it?
Well, I am not saying it's the ruling party's fault. But the source, those people that are escorting those young people, may I say, are not from the opposition. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, they're from the ruling coalition.
I'm just saying that it is not. There's not a single reporting that I have received, or a single briefing that I have received about this integrity of the registration process that is coming from the opposition. Let me just put it that way. Again, like I was saying, the reason we establish age of maturity to be 18, you have a child who doesn't know you have that, you give that individual a voter card. What are they going to do with it?
They'll vote whatever way they were told to vote.
That's a problem. And that is what I am worried about. The integrity of the system lies there, right there. There's a reason why we established 18 years old or above. We want people to be able to think for themselves and make a decision for themselves. Yes, we'll have influences from the parents. That's fine. We respect that. We cannot stop that. But when we say 18 years of age and older, For crying out loud, man, have some dignity. Don't try to squeeze in a child who's 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, 14 maybe. But I was going to say, should we look at, the voting age again? I mean, you have some brilliant 16-year-olds who can make very good decisions.
The same reason why legally the consent age is 18 is the reason why it is pegged at 18. And there's a good reason for it. Yes, we have brilliant 14-year-olds, but are they able to make decisions for themselves at that age that will benefit them? I am hopeful that when the Constitution was written and the age was defined, that critical thinking was done, it was thought of thoroughly. It is really important. We must hold the integrity of what we have. The law of the land is the Constitution, and we have to respect it. Until it changes, we have to respect it and go with what we have. For now, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to respect that law and abide by it. Don't try to squeeze in a 17-and-a-half-year-old child. No, they're not qualified.
One thing Esam Baifal always talks about when he's on this platform is the level of corruption in this country. I've not heard you go, in that direction just yet. Are you not worried about corruption in the Gambia?
I am. And here's the reason why. You talked about employment and this, that, and the other. The integrity of this country and the way that we are treated outside of Gambia is highly dependent on how respected we are and how we conduct ourselves. I have had business opportunities to come to Gambia. But when they do their research, the one thing that they challenge me on and I can't defend, it is indefensible, is, hey, I know you're a person of character, but I don't think we can do business there, and here's the reason why. And corruption comes out, number one. Number two, the difficulty to do business in Gambia.
Because even to register, somebody wants this, another person wants that, and that, and that.
Yeah. It's the process. And again, those are some of the red tape that we intend to remove when we get into office. We have to make Gambia competitive. We have to be ready for business. Gambia has to be ready for showtime when the lights are on. We cannot wait anymore. It's just time is ticking. And we owe it to the generations to come. I wish we had time to talk about forestation and deforestation. We have to take care of our environment. Happy to do that. There you go. So we have to talk about those things. But yeah, we have to clean up our act. Yes, we have to. And we have to demonstrate to the world that we have a better country to call Gambia than be known for corruption. We're not going to eliminate it 100%. There's nobody that can do that. But we can bring it to a point where it is negligible. And negligible, I mean, yes.
Absolutely. And just finally, what message would you like Gambians to take away about APP-Sobeya's mission?
That we believe. We believe in our mission. We believe in Gambia. We believe in Gambians. And we want to keep hope alive, as Jesse Jackson would say. Keep hope alive. The end is not near. We're not there yet. We still have time to make it right. But Gambians need to realize what their rights are and exercise those rights. There is no higher honor as a citizen than the right to vote. No higher honor as a citizen than the right to vote. Because those are the votes that are going to shape your future and the future of generations to come. We must choose right. We must choose right. If I had a candidate that is better than SFI, I would choose him. We must choose right. And Esa would do the same thing. His love for country is bigger than himself. He's given it all, as many people would say. But again, we the citizens must take what is ours. Our rights to vote must not be infringed upon by the IEC or any other agency for that matter. It has to be respected. We expect neutrality. We expect a fair and level playing field so that everybody can compete and compete fairly. Finally, is that we need to encourage our youth to wake up. Wake up and look out for their best interest. Far too often, and we have out of our manifesto, a certain percentage of, we're not just talking about you have the youth and sports department. No. We want the youth in the administration. Let them advocate for themselves. Let them be active. Let them be involved. Let them take ownership of what is going to be theirs in the future. We are going to go. The young people, the young generation is going to come. We want them to have a better future than we do. I want my grandchildren and my fellow great-grandchildren to have a better Gambia to visit than what we have right now.
Mila, thank you very much for your time this morning.
It's an honor.
Wéef lay fay.
sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jar Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jar Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jar Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jar Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jar Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jar Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.
Africa is rising and business knows no borders. With Bloombank and PAPS, buying and selling across Africa is now effortless. Fast, secure, direct from your Bloombank account. One Africa, one connection, one heartbeat of opportunity, powered by Bloombank Africa. Bloombank Africa, in partnership with PAPS, connecting Africa, empowering you. Bloombank Africa, we make it happen.